Armed with Button's tips then, and emboldened slightly by a glimpse of sunlight, it was time for a warm-up challenge, a time trial between megastar Button and average Joe Sutcliffe. In totally road-legal Honda Civic Type Rs, this test would move Button out of his comfort zone.
How many laps can I have?
It would also demonstrate how close a typically keen driver can get to one of the most wanted men on the F1 grid. Steve went out first. After 3 flying laps, he set a fastest time of 1 minute 14.40. The line in the sand had been drawn, but surely Jensen would obliterate it. Button did 4 flying laps in the Civic, and in true last-minute qualifying style, came in with the fastest lap time of 1 minute 13.45, a time set on his last flying lap, and just under a second quicker than Sutcliffe's. The data shows that Button braked for corners slightly later than Steve, and also carried more speed into them. So it was round 1 to the professionals. Back in the pit garage, the team readied the RA107 for its first run of the day. This time it would go out in the capable hands of James Rossiter, Honda and Super Aguri F1 test driver and a man who's won races at Silverstone in Formula 3. Rossiter would do a few installation laps in the car, verifying its setup for Steve and generally ensuring that the circuit was warm enough to run on. The lap times he recorded would also serve as a benchmark for comparison with Steve's.
Sorry, that was first time through Koch. Did he look like he was kind of taking it a bit easy?
Rossiter made driving an F1 car in the tricky conditions look easy, but Steve's concerns were lingering.
I drove the F1 car this morning and it was very cold, a little bit icy, but we managed to get a good baseline and make sure the car was set up well for Steve.
I'm quite scared of this, even though I've done it before. I didn't drive it when it was icy and snowy before, and even then I spun it. So if you look at this here, you've still got ice. And although they've put this very nice chemical which warms the circuit up, it doesn't dry it out, but it just takes the temperature up, brings the temperature up a bit. It's still very slippery, and the worst bit of all is that there's a nice bit of shadow just where that bridge is down there, opposite the race control. And the sun's just not getting to that, and that's absolutely right on the apex of Woodcote, which is normally completely flat out in one of these things, but not at the moment. You ever driven one when it's this cold?
Yeah, I have. But the thing is, the problem is that getting the tire temperature is so difficult. But for you, I think you're running wet anyway, so
yeah,
it should be fine.
And you think they'll still stay warm?
Because they're soft, they're really soft tyre.
Good, I like to hear that.
So it'll be fine.
There are a few icy patches though.
Oh really? Oh, they'll be gone, mate. The sun's out. Don't worry.
Sections of the circuit were still in shadow and likely to be slippery. They were hardly what you'd call ideal conditions for a beginner. The time had come. Steve was about to get his first proper laps in a car that both Jensen Button and Rubens Barrichello had struggled to keep on track in 2007. The pressure was on. But for the ice, Steve would have felt a bit more confident. Back in 2004, he drove a Jaguar R3 around Barcelona. He got a grand total of 7 laps that day, around a circuit he didn't know, but it was enough to prepare him for the incredible performance of these cars. But that was Spain. It was 3 years ago, and it was 20 degrees. While the mechanics and engineers got the car ready, Steve's thoughts had centred on getting out of the pits and around the circuit cleanly.
So I think they're going to push me out now. Okay, I'll switch the RS off.
RS means race start, which you have to switch off in order to get the thing off the line properly, unless you really start properly. And at this point, all I wanted to do was just not stall. Look at that crowd of people.
Okay, will do.
I think I was talking to Andrew Shove, the Jensen's race engineer, about trying to get the pit lane speed limiter off, which again, there was this orange button somewhere on the steering wheel and I didn't really know what it was supposed to do, but I knew it wouldn't go properly without me turning it off. So at this point I start to make a bit of a fool of myself.
Pit limiter is the yellow button or the orange button?
It's the orange button, you fool, and you need to turn it off in order to get it going properly. My heart was really starting to go at this point.
It stopped.
I got to a position where I didn't know what button to press or what to do in the car at all. However, I got it going again. God, that even sounds fast now looking at it on video. I mean, at the time, that just feels absolutely incredible. It's so quick when you put your foot down. The trouble is my visor then started to steam up, so I had to open the visor up, as you can see now. And that just allowed all this kind of forced air into the helmet as well, so my eyes then started to stream. However, that's coming back into the pit lane now, which means I didn't stall it and I didn't spin it.
Visor is a bit of a problem. It's steaming up quite a lot.
Okay, this was the second time out in the car. First time I got to drive it really properly. And I was going a bit better this time. Felt a bit more comfortable with the car. But as you can see, I was still being a complete and utter prima donna when it came to the visor.
Yeah, this visor's not good though. Trouble is, it's not steaming up. Sorry. The visor's not steaming up, but air's getting through, so I can't actually see anything. I can't see much because there's a gap, so the air's coming up, kind of streaming into my eyes. Blimey. Whew. So first gear all the time.
Yeah, it's